All right, Trailblazer fans, it really could be much worse. Yeah, Dame probably wants out, and yeah, you might lose him. Regardless, your team's gonna look considerably different next season, whether Dame's gone or CJ's gone or Nurkic is gone. You're gonna look vastly different. But here's the good thing, right? So here's the silver lining. Dame is actually kind of going about this the right way. Like, you can assume because of all the reports that he wants out from relatively credible sources. He wants out. He has this list of teams. Like, he just recently came out and said that he expects to be a Blazer next season, right? He said he hasn't really made his final decision yet, but he sees himself in a Blazers uniform next season. And even if he doesn't, right? Even if behind the scenes he's saying, get me out of Portland, he's not plummeting his trade value by saying, I want out publicly. Like, that's good for you guys. I get it. It's not ideal. Trust me. I understand. I'm a Marlins fan, right? I understand having star players and your team doing nothing for them and then them wanting out, right? Giancarlo Stanton, he went to Marlins front office and said, hey, if you're going to build a team around me, let's do it. Let's go. But if you're rebuilding, get me out of here. And they traded him for a bag of chips to New York, right? I understand how you feel. Okay. I really do. But Dame is going about this the right way. I mean, he's been in Portland for a long time, right? And you guys, like, what have you done around him to show this man that you're committed to him to win a championship? Yeah, you gave him a max deal and he signed it. Fantastic. You got CJ McCollum. He's an all-star guard. McCollum is a very, very good player. You got Nurkic, who, when healthy, is a decent player. Okay, I think Nurkic is a bit overrated. I actually think he does more harm than good for this roster specifically. Under previous coaching, I reading up about Chauncey Billups and the kind of offense that he likes to run. Nurkic actually might be a really good fit in this offense. And you could really see him be like at his max potential. Um, Billups is going to be all about ball movement, right? And the way he used Zubac is right. So pick and roll, and then ball movement with the center is what he liked to do, in his own words, right? So you take somebody that is considerably better playmaker and a considerably better player in Nurkic, put him in that same system. As long as Nurkic can stay healthy, like that looks really, really good for Nurkic in general for his numbers, and then also for the Blazers. Now, my concern, right, is Billups is an offensive guy. Offense is not the Blazers' problem. Okay, the Blazers, I think, were one of the best teams in offense last year and pretty much every year while Dame's there. Offense is not their problem, right? And you can blame it on Nurkic being hurt. You can blame it on Zach Collins constantly being hurt. Like you can, but like that's even when those guys are healthy. Like is that team beating the Clippers? Is that team beating the Lakers? Is that team beat like it's not. Spoiler alert. It's not. Like you guys haven't really done much to build around Dame. And now you are trying to at least starting. You bring Billups in, you bring in a new system. Um, but where do you go from here? Right? You need to make a big move. You do. You got to show Dame that you're not going to run it back with the same core, right? You can't just go out and add Derek Jones Jr. and Robert Covington in free agency and expect just everything to be fine. Not going to happen. You got to make a move. Nurkic needs to go. McCollum needs to go. You gotta switch up the roster. So what do? What's the first thing you look at? What's everybody talking about, right? McCollum for Ben Simmons. All right, you make that move. You get better. Well, you definitely get better on the defensive end, right? But you probably lose some offense. Probably lose some offense. You lose some offense. You get playmaking, you get defense, you lose offense. Now, what do the Blazers have plenty of? Offense, correct. And I know it's shit on Ben Simmons summer, but Simmons can score, right? Simmons can give you 17, 18, hell, maybe even 20 points a game if he really tried. If he'd shoot the damn ball, 20 points a game. You can live with that, right? Simmons is so good defensively that he would cover up like any of the Blazers' problems. And Billups is not a defensive coach. He's trying to bring in some defensive guys to his roster to help out on that end. But the Blazers are probably not going to be a good defense next year. They're just not going to. And you just add Ben Simmons to that roster. You just better by default on defense. He's an all NBA defender. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. Like you add him to this roster, you guys are just better by default defensively, right? Now, what does that look like when you bring Simmons in? You have a core of Dame, Simmons, Nurkic. That's probably a problem. So you need to get rid of Nurkic as well. And I would assume his trade market's decent. Like Nurkic is not a bad player by any means. And I like Nurkic. I think he's a good player. I really do. He can make plays. He's a good post player. He's a good rebounder. He's slow. He's not a good defender, and he gets hurt pretty consistently. Right, and he just won't fit on this team with Simmons. Simmons will take that Zubac Nurkic role in Chauncey Billups' offense and be infinitely better at it than they will ever be. Simmons would play extremely well in that offense. He really would. Please, Portland, bring Ben Simmons in. That'll make the Sixers happy because they get McCollum, they get their scoring, they get their outside shooting, right? And bring Ben Simmons in. Just call him, make the trade. You have to make a big splash. Otherwise, Dame is why would he stay, dude? Like why would he stay? You know what I mean? And again, it's gonna be a lot of trades. You gotta get rid of Nurkic. Covington makes it like $13 million for Robert Covington. Stupid. It is. I get it. He's a 3-and-D kind of guy. I don't like Robert Covington. I really don't. Get him out of there. This is last year of his deal. You can trade him for something. I don't know. Throw him into the Philly deal. Get some scoring back. Bring something in. Throw whatever you can at him. Bring in Curry. Bring in somebody. Just get some more offense out there. There's free agents too that you can sign for $12, $13 million a year, and like bring offense in. Okay, so I mean, you got Tim Hardaway. He would be a good option. Like you've got like these players that can just score, and you need to bring that in if you're going to trade for Simmons, um, and then get Nurkic out of there. So again, I'm sure there's a trade market for Nurkic. It's not going to be insane, but he's a good player, and he doesn't really make much money. Nurkic is only making $12 million next year, which is actually really cheap considering how good of a player he is. So I would assume that'd be a pretty good market for Nurkic. He'd fit on a championship roster too. And again, he's cheap, man. He's cheap. Like what? Like again, hypothetical off the top of my head. Haven't looked into this at all. I don't know, man. Nurkic to the Lakers. Bring back Kuzma, Schroeder. Scoring. Just find scoring somewhere, anywhere. Could be done. It really could. I think Zach Collins is gone, from what I understand. They're not bringing back Collins. I doubt they'll bring back Carmelo Anthony. Cantor's gone. He's good offensively, but again, why would they bring him back? I like Norman Powell a lot. He's relatively cheap. He's got a player option for next year, 11 million. I mean, bring him in. I guess keep him. Hopefully, he opts back in. If he opts out and wants more money, goodbye. But for almost $12 million a year, yeah, keep him there. He could score. Point being, right, is the Blazers have to make moves. You can't run it back or Dame's gone. Right? Starting, I guarantee you, either Dame, CJ, or Nurkic will not start the season as a Trailblazer. Guaranteed. Because if they try to have CJ and Nurk on the team when the season starts, Dame's going to lose his mind. right? He's doing right by all you Trailblazer fans and by the franchise itself by not coming out and demanding a trade right now. He is. He's doing all that he can. The Blazers need to show him that they're doing all that they can. They need to make something happen. Damn it, I want to see a McCollum for Ben Simmons trade. I do. I do. And then flip Nurkic for somebody. Something. Flip Nurkic for some scoring. And then just pick and rolls and ball movement with Dame and Ben Simmons. Make it happen. The Blazers can win with that. You throw Simmons on any of those stars in the West, right? In the playoffs. He can shut them down. I'm telling you, dude. Get Ben Simmons to Portland. Okay, he can defend anybody in the West. And you just let Dame score. Okay? Just trust me, please. Let's make it happen. Portland, you guys could be in a much worse spot. I really hope you guys make it work. I want to see Dame stay in Portland. As a Heat fan, I want to see him stay in Portland. Right? The Heat were apparently on his list of teams he wants to go to. Realistically, that's not going to happen. Right? I mean, what are we going to give him? Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero. They're going to get, a better deal elsewhere. So, man, I don't want to go over Dame trades. I guess we can talk about it for a second. I mean, at like minimum, I feel like it's going to be Ben Simmons. Now, you're not just going to be able to trade Ben Simmons straight up. You're going to have to throw in Tybal, Maxey, probably. Maybe Curry. And like as many picks as you can. But, that's going to be the starting point for like value for Lillard. You know what I mean? I'm sure teams are already calling about what it's going to take to get Lillard. But like, that's going to be the starting point. New York is another team that is like in the running to get Dame. And I swear to God, if I see one more don't trade RJ Barrett for Damian Lillard Knicks fan on Twitter, I'm going to lose my mind. Please get over yourselves. RJ Barrett's a nice little player. Okay, he is. He is. I'll give you that. Right? He could be a good player. He could be a 25-5 guy. Fantastic. Great. Trade him for Damian Lillard. For the love of God. You guys have a ton of cap space, right? Bring in Lillard and then bring in somebody else. Like, just do it. I don't understand why that's such like a weird thing that Knicks fans don't want to do. The Celtics, I think, are a good option for Dame too. And that would be nice for Portland, right? I mean, if you're really going to blow it up, you want young players back. Jaylen Brown, throw him in there for Dame. Why not? Dame and Tatum. That would hurt as a Heat fan having to watch that, but I mean, that makes sense. And if you're the Trailblazers, right, probably want Jaylen Brown over Ben Simmons, right? Don't you? I mean, if you're building a new roster, I think you do. You'd probably rather start with him. At that point, McCollum's expendable. I think if you guys trade Dame, then everybody's gone. I really do. Because you're not going to. The last thing you want as the Trailblazers is to trade Dame, keep CJ, and then finish, in the middle of the pack again and then not get a high draft pick. If you trade Dame, you blow it up. And you just eat it for a couple of years and then try to rebuild that roster. And who knows, that may be the best move. That may be the best move. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I've been thinking about it and I haven't heard anything about it. And this isn't probably not realistic. But man, I would love to see the Pelicans come out of like the top ropes, dude, and just drop Brandon Ingram, Lonzo, and then whatever else they possibly can get, and then pair up Dame and Zion. Oh, can you imagine? Just think about that for a second. Right? They have the pieces. And Zion's already rumored to want out of New Orleans. Where is he going? Like, why would he leave if you guys bring in Dame? If there are any Pelicans fans on this video at all, would you not make that trade? You guys aren't winning with Brandon Ingram. Trade him for Dame. Like, why wouldn't you? As for Portland, like that's a deal you make. You can build around Bi. Throw in Lonzo, throw in some picks. I don't know, Kira Lewis, like whatever else you want to throw in there, and then bring in Dame. Man, Dame and Zion. That would be disgusting. That would make me so happy as just a fan of the NBA. But yeah, that's just some thoughts. Um, let me know in the comments below what you think. I would love to kind of discuss this. I don't know how many Portland fans are here. And I'm actually pretty curious about what you guys think about the Pelicans dropping in there because they have the pieces, they have the salary cap, and they need to make something happen. Otherwise, Zion's going to be gone. And you guys already watched AD leave. So, curious. All right. Thanks for stopping in, guys.